Before the season, Woodham coach Don Sharp said his Titans might lose 2 or 3 games and still go on to win a state championship. They'll get a test on their way to a district title tonight. From Titan Stadium on the campus of Woodham High School, WSRE TV presents high school football. Tonight, the Woodham Titans and the Washington Wildcats. Hi everyone, I'm Dan Shugart along with Jet Rogers. And Jet, there are many people who believe, and I happen to be one of them, that this might be Woodham's toughest test in the district play. The Washington Wildcats, as Don Sharp says, the best 1-4 team in the country.
Well, Dan, of course, we always talk about Tate, and we saw Tate play last week. I think that Washington may be the toughest test at this point of the season. And being on the campus at Woodham throughout the week, I could tell that everyone at Woodham is certainly concerned. This is no pushover to the Woodham people. They're not taking it that way. They're taking it as if it was a state championship. And I think that Coach Armstrong and his staff at Washington have made improvements over there. And I've been waiting for them to play the good game. They did it against Mobile County and blew them out. If they play that well tonight, we'll have a fine football game here at Titan Stadium.
Keep in mind, in Washington, in their 1-4 record, they lost by 1 point to PHS, first game of the year. They lost by 1 point last week to Pine Forest, 2 games they probably should have won. So Washington, indeed, is much better than its record. Woodham, after starting with a 1-2 record, they've won 2 in a row. They are 3-2, and they're looking to get on a roll. It's the Woodham Titans and the Washington Wildcats. Kickoff coming right up.
This week on Garden Magic, we'll be looking at that good old orchid. It's really coming right along. It's been through a terrible hot summer, but look how it is right now. They're great along the Gulf Coast. But most particularly, we'll be talking about the spring bulbs. They're here to buy, and the most important thing is you've got to have time to plan and chill those things to make them work right for next spring. In addition, we're going to be planting some paper white narcissus for forcing and show you how you can have these things flowering off and on all winter and early spring. So why don't you watch?
At Titan Stadium on the campus of Woodham High School, the Woodham Titans and the Washington Wildcats. We mentioned it is a district game in District 1, Class 5A. The Titans winning their own lone district game so far this year. They outmanned Choctaw 55-0 earlier in the season. And for the Washington Wildcats, this is their first district game. They come in with a record of 1-4. The Titans are 3-2. And Jet, we mentioned briefly that this might be the toughest test for Woodham. For Washington, it's sort of a watershed night. They've had a great deal of misfortune the last 4 of the last 5 weeks. And last week's game, the bitter loss to Pine Forest, a game they were in position to win in the last second, it really may have caused some problems, and it's really going to be a moment of truth for Washington tonight.
Dan, I think you're right, and I think that the Washington Wildcats, beginning the season, had showed some improvement under Coach Blair Armstrong. And being around Woodham all week, they certainly have been very cautious. They're taking this ball game as it should be, a district game, and I think Woodham will come out scrapping. If Washington will not be awed by the numbers and the past record and come out there and play their football game, I think we may see a pretty good ball game. But as you said last week, losing to Pine Forest could certainly affect their mental attitude and their thinking about the game. But we'll just have to wait and see after the kickoff how they respond to that.
They have a lot of talent on the Washington sideline, the 3rd year of Blair Armstrong's rebuilding program there. There's a great deal of talent over there on that side of the ball. The quarterback, Darrell Creedon, is a senior. He has been starting for 3 years, started since his sophomore season. And we will see if probably the number 2 tailback or number 2 talented running back in the area behind Emmett Smith. There may be about 4 or 5 who are right behind Emmett Smith, and Chris Tolbert, number 24 for Washington, is one of them. Of course, the Titans had Jason Hawkins, their number 24, and those 2 players should figure prominently in tonight's game. They're both exciting football players indeed. Now, both teams feature explosive types of offenses. Washington has moved the football well, but they've self-destructed on many occasions, and that's really been the story of their season. In the loss to Pine Forest, they had 12 men, or the loss rather to Pensacola High School. They had 12 men on the field when PHS missed what would have been a game-tying point after touchdown. The penalty moving it closer to the goal line. PHS went for 2 and won the football game. That was opening night. Last week, the Wildcats, trailing 7-6 in the final minute, running a bit of a controversial play, a tight end pass that was intercepted in the end zone. It was a play that had gone all week in practice, but of course, no one ever remembers that. All they know is that their bid to pull out their second win of the year was intercepted in the end zone, so that was definitely a bitter pill to swallow. Woodham is the visiting team tonight, even though we are on the campus of Woodham High School. Washington, as most of you know, does not have a campus football stadium, so they always take their act on the road, and even though it's their home game, they're on the road tonight. The kick by Eric Fritz sails over Tolbert's head and into the end zone for the automatic touchback, and Washington will put the ball in play, first down and 10 from their 20-yard line. Let's set the Washington offense for you. The offensive line, and it's an unbalanced line, so you really can't go by left guard, right guard, tackle. They number their players. The center is their 7th player. Alan Shaw is the center. Craig Worley and Mike Washam are on either side of him, and then far on the right side, Terrence Eaton and Robert Knock. The tight ends, Calvin Gillis and Capri Williams, and Creedon has them up first and 10. And flags go down as Washington got out of the blocks a little bit early. It's going to cost them 5 yards on the first play from scrimmage. The rest of the offense, Creedon is the quarterback, 14. The running backs, Eddie Riley, number 20. He's a sophomore fullback, and they're very high on him. And, of course, Tolbert, 6 feet, 180 pounds. He runs a 40 in about 4.7, but he's awfully elusive. And he is just a junior. He is second in Northwest Florida in rushing with 544 yards on the year.
The right guard jumped on that last play. I'm sure that Coach Armstrong is very upset with a situation like that. That's a little bit like of discipline. He's just not holding on to himself enough and let go.
Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe they're just a little bit more fired up for this ball game. The give is to the fullback, Riley, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage by 3 or 4 Woodham Titans. In on the stop is Keith Smith, 54, along with Edward Williams, number 63. Now the Woodham defense, as you see, one of the defensive coaches, Mike Thorson, yelling the play in from the sideline and now signaling it in. Defensively, John Kazaya, 86, Edward Williams, 63, 53 Eddie Boyd, and Bill Bradley, 42 along the front. Mike O'Daniel is the rover back. The linebackers, Larry Brewer and Keith Smith. The secondary, Anthony Thompson, Raymond Mims on the corners. Willie Blankenship and Shannon Adams are the safeties. And a pitch outside and throwing for a loss back at the 12-yard line. The ball carrier was number 45, Lorenzo McNeil.
Mims on the stop.
Ramon Mims was in on the tackle.
The loss brings the ball back down to the 14-yard line.
I think maybe Washington was trying to check their speed against the outside, see if they could outrun Woodham to the corner, and they certainly weren't able to do so on that. Woodham had people over there waiting on them.
McNeil loses a couple of yards back to the 13-yard line. It will be a second down and 17. Creedon, excellent thrower. And he's back to throw on third and long. Or second and long, third and long, and pass is complete and fumbled. No, they're going to wave it off. Or are they? We had one official signaling incomplete pass. I guess he was bobbling it before he went down. The pass was intended for Capri Williams, number 81. He is the leading receiver for Washington, 10 catches on the year. He's averaging better than 12 yards a catch. Couldn't hang on to that one. And it will be fourth down.
Washington doesn't have any wide people. They didn't on the last play, and they were throwing. So it's not as hard defensively to cover that.
Woodham going for the block, and they can't get it. Golovko gets the punt away, and it's fielded by Blankenship at the 38.
38-yard line.
45, and he goes down at the 48-yard line. Willie Blankenship.
The ball carrier.
He was hit down there by 84, Ronald Williams, and 44, Chris Smith.
Yeah, that right there is the reason a lot of teams will win the toss and elect to take the win and let it kick off, because look where Woodham's getting the ball the first time on the 48-yard line. If your defense is good enough to kick the ball deep and hold your opponent, then you get the ball in much better position on your first possession.
And Woodham is getting more and more confident in its defense, and with good reason. Vince Dickens, the quarterback, running the option. He crosses midfield and gets about 3 or 4 yards where it looked like there was nothing. Setting the Woodham offense for you. Greg George, Bob Pickering, Chris Bromley, 52 is the big center, Ricky Faro, and Vince Sparks of the offensive lineman on the right side. Bill Gutman, 33, the starting wingback. Jason Hawkins is the wingback on the other side. Caesar Jones, 38, the fullback, and Vince Dickens, the quarterback. Second down, straight ahead handoff to Caesar Jones, and he gets to about the Washington 45-yard line. Pick up on the play of 3, it will be a third down and about 4. Sherman Salisbury, number 20, and Robert Hackett, number 80, are the receivers. Hackett will play a tight end, also play a wide receiver. For those of you who have not seen Woodham this year, Salisbury, of course, last year as a junior was one of the tandem of running backs with Jason Hawkins, but now they're operating him at a wide receiver. Third down at 3. Gutman in motion. Jones has the first down. He's inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Caesar Jones picks up the initial first down of the ball game. Tackle made by 81 Capri Williams.
Caesar Jones, another one of the long line of good football players from Pensacola area.
For the 37, we're
Calvin,
down for the
Bull, Call, and now Caesar.
First down for the Titans at the 37-yard line, as the senior fullback gets the Titans' first down. They give it to him again, and Woodham right now trying to establish superiority in the line of scrimmage, and they seem to have the early edge as he bangs inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, and Jones picks up 3 yards.
Jones picks up 3 yards.
Britt Landrum, 82, checking into the game, replacing Hackett. Landrum is split to the left side, Salisbury to the right side. Double wing. Hawkins in motion, flag is down, and Jones gets good yardage to the 30-yard line before he is brought down by Chris Truitt, number 62. But we'll see what the flag's all about. The referee, P.J. Smith, threw the flag in the Woodham Titan backfield, and he's explaining it to Vince Dickens. So Dickens nodding as though he understands what the call is and holds his arms up to the coach as though he's saying, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Washington's defense is hanging in there pretty good with them, Dan. Woodham Titans are having to block and scrap for every inch they get.
You know, Washington is getting away from the one platoon system, the two-way players. And, of course, a 5A school is going to have a hard time competing with too many players going both ways because teams will have so many numbers, they'll just wear you down after a while. In Washington, I remember 2 years ago, the Wildcats of Blair Armstrong, that 0-10 year, they had a lot of guys going both ways. This year, not quite as many. So the penalty marks it back to the 42-yard line, illegal motion penalty. They marked off 7 yards there because the line of scrimmage had been the 34. I think they stepped it off from the original line of scrimmage. I think that's a mistake. Richard Busby is on the wing, and he goes into motion now. Dickens on the delay counter to Hawkins. It's gone. Touchdown.
2-yard run.
Jason Hawkins goes 42 yards on the counter. There you see it. He had one man to beat. This is a district champion sprinter. And Hawkins puts the Titans on top, 7-0. Fritz is on to attempt the extra point. Dickens to hold, the kick is up, and it's good. So with 7:34 to go, first quarter, Woodham leads it 7-0, and it's sort of a proving time now for Washington. The game itself, that watershed time, they're going to have to prove something, and now if they fall behind, it's sort of the game within the game for them.
Well, they're running an unbalanced line with no wide receivers, which indicates that they're going to try to knock you out of there. And I don't believe that Woodham will be knocked out from the interior defensive line. So I don't know if Coach Armstrong and his staff will come on with some razzle-dazzle or motions and things to try to mess up the defense of Woodham, but I don't think that Washington will be able to knock Woodham out of there.
The Titans take the 7-0 lead. They march 52 yards the first time they have the football. Fritz to kick it off again, and he's kicking it for the corner. Comes down to McNeil at the 7. McNeil hit at the 15 and dropped at the 17-yard line. First Titan to get to him was Shannon Adams, number 14. And coming along to finish him off, I believe, was number 21, Alex Palmer. So Washington once again taking over in poor field position at the 17-yard line.
For the Wildcats.
They started their last drive at the 20, but on their first play, they were penalized 5 yards. So essentially, they've started 2 drives from the 15 and now from the 17-yard line. Tolbert, he's wrapped up by Keziah, and they'll stand him up right there. So Tolbert, his first carry of the night, he is going to lose a yard back to the 16. Keziah was there along with Eddie Boyd.
There's a loss of about a yard on the play.
Second down and 11. And talking about the Washington offense, the unbalanced line, 2 years ago, a very, very simple offense. And the better defensive teams would be able to defense it well. But Don Sharp says now they basically run the same set, but they've added about 100% to the offense. They'll do all sorts of things. You'll see screen passes, right, left, back up the middle. They'll throw to anybody. And Creedon with the good arm is back to throw again. He's got his man complete for the first down at the 30-yard line. And the receiver out there is Lorenzo McNeil, number 45.
Now that was a beautiful offensive set, as we see on the replay there. They had 2 men wide to the right, Dan, and what they did, they found that open seam between 2 of the defensive backs. The quarterback hit him right in between the 2.
14-yard pickup, and Washington picks up its initial first down of the night. First and 10 from the 30. Tolbert on the call, and Tolbert gets 2, maybe 3 yards, and he paid the price for that. Boy, you can really hear the popping up there. I think we have our parabolic mic down there, but if we took our headsets off, we could hear it all the way up here.
Second down, 7 yards to go for the Wildcats.
3-yard pickup for Tolbert. Second down at 7. Tolbert again. This time he gets to about the 35-yard line. He gets 2 yards.
Over the ball carrier.
They were trying to pop a quick opener over on the left side of the offensive line then, and the quarterback reaching a long way to get to Tolbert.
So 3rd down and 5. And we'll see Creedon's back to throw again. Washington substitution. Into the ball game is number 68, Dave Brooks, and Mike Washam goes out. 3rd down and 5. They have McNeil and Williams on the right side. Williams is the tight end over there. Across the middle of McNeil, and he dropped the pass. It was doubtful whether he's going to pick up the first down or not, but Willie Blankenship was there to hit him. Also there on the defensive play, Keith Smith, number 54. And they had him stopped, I believe, about a yard short of the first down anyway. But when you don't hang on to the ball, you have no chance, do you?
None whatsoever. He was right on the first down marker, and when he dropped the ball, he fell back inside a yard short. But I believe he's been able to catch the ball. They've given him his progress. He was
big rush, and I can't believe Golovko got the kick away. They forced him to pull it out of bounds at the Woodham 38-yard line. So last time, Golovko got off a 49-yard punt. This time, 26 yards at the 39-yard line.
Now they get the, Woodham gets the ball on their second possession on the 39-yard line, Dan. So good defenses, not allowing your opponent to move the ball, usually gives you the ball in good position. Woodham's ready to play football right now.
And Woodham with two good quarterbacks. Bill Reed-Snyder is now in there. Dickens engineered the last touchdown drive. Now Reed-Snyder gets a crack at it. Reed-Snyder the better thrower. Dickens runs the option better than any quarterback Don Sharp has ever coached, he says. And Reed-Snyder handing off on first down, straight ahead to, I believe, Caesar Jones. Check that. That was, I believe, 34, Ronald Tate on the carry. And he gets 3 yards to the 43-yard line. Second down and 7. Reed-Snyder back to throw. He's got Salisbury. Incomplete, and the man on the defensive play was McNeil. And McNeil, who's caught one pass, dropped another, and was there on coverage. And we mentioned the players playing both ways, and there's one of them.
I thought he had intercepted the ball, but he faked it real good.
Well, you know, earlier in that play, about 5 strides before that, Salisbury was wide open, and but Reed-Snyder hadn't gotten rid of the ball yet, so Salisbury had a chance earlier in the play, but they waited too long and couldn't complete it. Third down now for the Titans. Third down and 7 from their own 43. That's Gutman in motion. Reed-Snyder gives it to Hawkins. Hawkins, first down. He'll go all the way. Touchdown for Jason Hawkins, his second of the night.
I tell you, that looks good. I hope it's good. Here, what's this? Right here is where he looks good, Dan. He's just go out and run everybody. He's outrunning everybody, even the inside end. 44 there.
You know, that's a problem, though, that's plagued Washington before. You notice 24, Chris Tolbert, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to run that again, but if we can, James. Watch 24, Chris Tolbert got stuck inside and allowed Hawkins to get outside, and that's the kind of defensive mistake that really hurt the Wildcats. Tolbert made that play, and then Hawkins really, without even throwing a move, also juked number 45, McNeil, on the sideline. Watch Tolbert, 24. See, he's stuck inside. Hawkins gets outside, and Hawkins going to beat him there. Now watch McNeil, who had the angle on him. They got turned around, so Hawkins just blew by both of them. So another defensive mistake, and with Fritz tacking on the extra point, 3:29 to go first quarter, and it's 14-0. By the way, in case you're wondering, Hawkins has carried the ball twice tonight. He has a 49.5-yard average.
Fritz has the ball teed up. He'll be kicking off to McNeil or Tolbert. Ball goes to
McNeil will take the kick at the 7-yard line. Reverse to Tolbert. Tolbert trying to get outside, but good coverage by the Titans. And I tell you, the man who made the great play down there on the Titan coverage team was number 23, Anthony Abrams. He was taking on 2 or 3 blockers and held his ground, stayed in his lane, and made the play. Didn't allow Tolbert to get outside.
Well, you see Woodham defensive people play football, Dan, and I promise you, they look like, and I'm not exaggerating at all, they look like college now. When I saw that reverse developing, I thought sure that the entire team would be over on the right side, but they didn't do it. They didn't take the fake at all. They stayed right at home like they're supposed to, and that's hard to get high school players to do.
Reed, the handoff outside to Eddie Riley, and Riley gets across the 20-yard line. Nice gain out to about the 24. So Riley, if I'm not mistaken, picks up their biggest gain on the ground. 6 yards out to the 24-yard line.
Riley picks up 5 yards. Second down, 5 yards to go.
Second down and about 4 from the 24-yard line. They have to get to the 28 to pick up the first down. Tolbert Tolbert hit in the backfield and stood up. I believe that must have been Eddie Boyd in the bottom of the pile hitting him, maybe Edward Williams, and then John Kazaya is the man who stood him up. So I tell you, this Titan defense, they give away about 25 pounds a man to the defensive unit of last year. They lost some great skill people, but this is a young unit that really had to prove itself, and Don Sharp makes no bones about it. He said this team from day one has had a mission to prove itself. They really have felt that need, that goal, and they are as hustling a bunch of defenders as he's ever coached, and he's coached some good ones. He got a yard to the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Trade back to throw on 3rd and 3. Over the middle, he's got his man Tolbert. First down to the 42-yard line. Brought down there by 42, Bill Bradley, but not before the Wildcats pick up their second first down of the night.
On the 42-yard line, first and 10
Well,
for the
Dan, you were
Wildcats.
talking about this group felt like they had something to prove. I think that they don't have anything to be ashamed of for the 2 games they've lost, because they've lost 2 games to 2 real fine football teams, Escambia and Milton. And I just see something in this group of young men that I can't put my finger on it, but they are well disciplined. They're around the schools in the afternoon after practice, and they'll go on later.
Across the middle, pass is completed to Gillis, and Gillis gets another first down at the Woodham 46-yard line. And the first time tonight, Washington crosses midfield. And Gillis, 21, is still down on the play.
The player is injured on the field.
Calvin Gillis, the 6', 181-pound junior tight end.
But the thing did not finish saying about Woodham is I do not think that this football team has reached its potential yet. I believe that this will wind up and go down in the history books of Woodham High School as one of the outstanding football teams of all time, and I sincerely believe that.
Gillis is still down.
45-yard line for the Titans. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
I believe that was Charlie Armstrong when he ran out on the field, was complaining to B.J. Smith. He thought someone, one of the defenders, took a cheap shot at his receiver. And I'm not sure exactly what it was. Frankly, I didn't see it, but
I didn't know.
He saw something there.
Yeah.
And so they're just planting the seed in the referee's mind. I don't know if an official can help but to look for something like that once they've heard it once. First down at the 46, misdirection. Tolbert hit the line again, and there are 2, 3 defenders. You drop him after a yard gain.
A defense stays home, they read, they key, and they know how to get rid of a blocker, or we call it shedding a blocker. And they're very strong against the run.
Pick up a yard. He'll bring up 2nd down.
Pick up a yard for Tolbert, and he's, I think he threw a shoe there on the play, so he's going to tie the shoelaces and stay in the ball game. 2nd down and 9 yards to go, 44 seconds to go. Now they'll start the clock once again. 44 seconds to go. In the first quarter, Woodham on top, 14-0. Washington took the opening kickoff and couldn't move it. They punted it to the Titans, who took over on their own 48-yard line, went 52 yards for the first touchdown. Jason Hawkins going in from 42 yards out. Titans on their second possession. Again, it was Hawkins from 57 yards. They lead 14-0. Creighton under pressure and gets the pass away, and it's intercepted. Shannon Adams picked off the pass. Creighton's pass was intended for number 42, Arthur Bry, and you have to give a big assist on that interception to Mike O'Daniel, who put the pressure on the quarterback and forced the interception.
That's what a good rush will do, Dan. Every time I watch a football game and find outstanding passers, and I at one time was associated with a few of them, Scott Hunter and Kenny Stapler, even guys that good couldn't throw accurately if they were being knocked on their back.
The end of the first quarter.
And that was the final play of the first quarter. The Titans are rolling 14-0.
Hello, I'm Adele Graham, and I have some good news for Florida employers. Handicapped workers are good for business. Experience shows they are dependable employees who will stay with you. That's good for your business. Won't you please employ this valuable resource?
Hire the handicapped.
Titan Stadium, second quarter, first play of the second quarter. Bill Reefsnyder is a quarterback for the Titans. Straight ahead handoff to Caesar Jones, and he gets a couple of yards to the 36-yard line.
Made by Knock. Bring up
Robert Knock, number 51, 6 foot, 175-pound senior, made the defensive stop. Washington with a 6-man defensive front. Greg Grandison, a sophomore, one of the ends. Chris Tolbert's the other end. The tackles are Truitt, Sloran, Knock, and William Harris are the guards. And again on the option, they give it to the dive back, and Jones gets a couple of more yards. Well defensed by Chris Smith, number 44. Gets a couple of yards to about the 38-yard line. So it'll be a 3rd down and 5 for the Titans. They've only had one other 3rd down situation in the game, and they picked up the 1st down. That was in their first touchdown drive. 3rd and 5, big play for the Washington defense. Reefsnyder has his man, but overthrows Salisbury, and he was wide open in front of Bobby Lewis, the defensive back there.
4th down.
And so the Washington defense, for the first time tonight, holds the Titans, and they'll get the football back. Robert Hackett is on to punt the football away for Woodham.
Dropping back deep for the Wildcats, Lorenzo McNeil.
Lorenzo McNeil drops back to his own 20-yard line to receive the punt. High snap, Hackett handles it and gets the punt away. It's going to bounce at the 33-yard line and down by Bromley at the 33. So not a particularly good punt for Hackett.
Ball down by Bromley.
28-yarder. And Washington will take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. And this is easily their best field position of the night. Washington has started drives on their own 20-yard line, their 17, their 18, and now their 34. They picked up a couple of 1st downs the last time they had the football. Graydon hands it off to the second back through. That was number 42, Arthur Bry, who lines up at a wing back occasionally and a flanker, and they're at that time in the backfield. And Bry gets a good gain out to about the 39-yard line.
Pick up of 4 yards. It brings down 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
Important drive right now for the Washington Wildcats. 9:42 to go in the first half. They trail 14-0. And they did move the ball in the air last time as Bry gets the call. He's upended a couple of yards shy of the 1st down. He was tripped at the line of scrimmage. And the Titan linebacker, 54, Keith Smith, was there to finish him off. And Bry stumbles to the 43, and it's going to be a 3rd down and about a yard and a half to go.
He had a pretty good hold there on that last play, Dan. If he could have kept his balance, stayed on his feet, he had another 3, 4, 5 yards.
One of those Woodham linemen, I suspect it was either Edward Williams or Eddie Boyd got a hand on him as he went through there. 3rd down and a yard to go. Bry again gets the 1st down. It's the first time they've picked up a 1st down on the ground. Larry Brewer, 44, made the stop, and not before Bry got 2 yards to the 45-yard line.
Smith and Williams in on the stop. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
Very important for the Wildcats to move the ball down the field. They moved it last time, and that may have been a confidence builder, but it's very important for them to move it down the field and get some points out of it.
Need to keep the ball away from Woodham, too. When they're so explosive, they can score from any place on the field.
1st and 10 from the 45. Breeden back to throw on 1st down. Setting up the screen. And makes the catch. No, he bobbled the ball, and that's just as well because he would have lost 5 yards on the play had he caught it. That was a well-disguised screen because it looked for a moment as though
Complete. McNeil, the intended
So Chris
receiver.
Tolbert was going to be the intended receiver, but then he peeled off, and McNeil seemed to come from nowhere. But they couldn't get him the football.
He dropped back 20 yards, though, and I think Woodham, 2 or 3 of the Woodham players saw that the depth of his drop, that it was a screen, so they began to set up. But if he caught the football, he had a big gainer there.
Second down and 10. Washington fails on a first down pass. Creed's to 6 tonight. And he's throwing again, and down he goes. The sack belongs to John Kazaya. The first sack tonight on Creed. And he throws them way back at the 39-yard line. So a loss on a play of 6 yards. It'll be third down and 16 coming up.
Bring up third down, 16
Well,
yards to go.
he didn't move around back there. He couldn't find a receiver open, and I don't know what the coaches over at Washington, Coach Armstrong, and them tell him, but he needs to move somewhere. He can't stand right there and allow the defense to just swarm him like that.
Third down and long, third and 16. Remember last time they were in this kind of situation, would have picked the pass off. Not this time. McNeil is going to be 3 yards short of the first down. Larry Brewer, number 44, the linebacker, was there to help out on the stop.
That was a beautiful executed play. Beautiful.
Little over 3 yards
The
to go.
replay.
Brewer's there, and the pursuit from the lineman also. So fourth down and about 2 yards to go, and they're going to go ahead and punt it away, although the line of scrimmage is the Woodham 47-yard line, so Golovkin goes back to punt, but he has 3 men right in front of him, so I don't know. Would Woodham fake it, or would Washington fake it? Nope. Punting it away.
Beautiful.
Golovkin's punt is going to sail into the end zone. So
Goes into the end zone. The ball will be brought
Golovkin
up.
gets off the 47-yard punt, but of course with the touchback, it's only a 27-yard net. And the Washington drive once again is stalled. .6:49 to go. First half, Titans on top 14-0. Vince Dickens is back in at quarterback. Jason Hawkins the tailback. Ronald Tate is the fullback, and Jason Hawkins gets the call, and this time he only gets a couple of yards. Boy, is that going to do something to his average. He had carried the ball just twice prior to that call, and he had gained 99 yards. Now he's over the 100-yard mark at 101.
Hawkins, the ball
His
carrier.
average is down around 34 yards a carry.
Sorry about that,
49.
folks.
He'll get it back up.
You had Ronnie Joyce up here in the booth. You'd be saying things wrong, too.
Second down and 8. Goodman in motion, and now they shift into the double wing. And Tate, the remaining setback, gives the call, and he blasts ahead to the 30-yard line. What a line surge from that offensive line.
Tate, the ball
And of
carrier.
course, they followed Chris Bromley, 52, who Don Sharp says might be the best center he's ever coached at this stage, and he sent six of them, including Chris's brother Phil off to college.
We'll have a measurement.
But that Woodham offensive line was, at the preseason, was considered the strong point of the Woodham offense. They were the solid link, and of course, if you're going to have a solid link, it might as well be that offensive line, because that's the point where you're going to win your offensive battle. Ricky Faro, 77, and it's good to see Vince Sparks, 75 in there. Sparks, of course, missed the last Woodham game we did, the opener against Escambia. And hurt his knee. I guess he returned for the Milton game. And he's back in there. All right, first down. They did pick it up at the 30-yard line. That's Woodham's fourth first down. We're all even at first down, 4-4. And Hawkins gets 5 yards out to the 35 before he is tripped up out there by number 34, Raison Gross.
Second down, 5 yards to go.
Junior linebacker. Chris Smith, 44, is the other linebacker.
Again, unofficially, that puts Hawkins over the 100-yard
He was
mark.
thinking about picking some of those yards back up then.
I tell you one thing, if he could have completed that early, he could have gone.
That's right.
Second down and 5. Hackett now is the tight end, and outside him is Richard Busby. They send Hawkins in motion. They give it ahead to Tate. Tate! Midfield. Tate's gonna go all the way 65 yards.
Run for the score.
Well, you mentioned Woodham was explosive. He breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Washington now really a team on the brink.
In for the extra point attempt.
A team on the brink of being blown out here is Eric Fritz.
It is good. So with 4:46 left in the first half, the score Titans 21.
Woodham leads it 21-0 with 4:46 to go first quarter. Well, here's gut check time for Washington. You know, they move the ball effectively in the air, so they know they can pick up the yardage, and they have the ability to score, but they really need to put a score on the board in a hurry, or they may have let this game get away from them emotionally as well as physically. So
I'm afraid of that, Dan. I think
You'll bear with us. We'll get the scoreboard
Action.
straightened out as soon as we can. The score Titans 21, Washington 0.
the announcer just announced that the board's not working. The score is 21-0, and it shows 14-2.
this kick will come down to Tolbert at the 8, or the 20. Tolbert is met at the 28-yard line and dropped right there. Alex Palmer made the stop. He looked like he had some room to run to the left. Palmer hit him from his right. So Palmer, his second big play on special teams. And Washington takes over first down at his own 28-yard line.
First and 10 for the Wildcats. Timeout is called.
Timeout on the field is
Have an official's timeout on the field. 4:19 left to go in the first half.
I guess they're going to go ahead and try to fix the clock. It's now reading 21-2. So they have Woodham's half right, but Washington, I guess, has picked up an unofficial safety. All right, we're set to go. Creighton has him up. First down from the 28-yard line. And Creighton's going to throw on first down. Here's the blitz. He's hit as he throws and overthrows everybody. The intended receiver, Lorenzo McNeil, but
McNeil, the intended
flag goes down, and I'm not sure if we're going to have a roughing the passer or what. We have a holding penalty against Washington.
We have holding against
Creighton
the
was really
Wildcats.
decked as they threw the football. It's only a second penalty of the night. Called against Washington. But it's going to back him up 10 yards. B.J. Smith will step it off from the 28. They'll mark it back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And if Washington was throwing first and 10, we'll see if they'll be throwing first down and 20. 4:06 to go in the half. The Titans have exploded. They lead this ball game 21-0. All of them big plays. Hawkins has scored on runs of 42 and 57 yards. Ronald Tate has scored on a 65-yard run. Creighton back to throw. He's got his man Capri Williams, and he is belted by Anthony Thompson, number 27.
Pass is complete to number 81.
Anthony Thompson, a 5'10", 160-pound junior.
A 5-yard pickup brings up second down, 15 yards to go for the Wildcats.
He got 5 to the 23, second down and 15. Well, they want to get a little bit of it back at a time. Complete a 10-yard pass here, and then you're facing a third down and about 5 yards to go, and you have a very makeable first down situation. So, trying to nibble a little bit away at a time.
Let's go!
Second down, 15. He's swinging out here to McNeil. McNeil trying to get outside. Flag goes down. I believe it's going to be an illegal block against number 87, Marcus Johnson.
I think so.
Flag thrown by the line judge. It is a clip against Washington.
know if we, I don't remember if we have given the officials names or not yet.
E.J. Smith, the referee. I didn't get him. You got him, right?
Yeah, I gave them, turned them in.
We're going to have to apologize for a couple of things tonight. I've been out at a golf tournament all day, so I'm sort of in between modes of thought here. Of course, the Pensacola Open going on this week out at Perdido Bay.
Ball spotted on
Penalty
the
moves it
18-yard
back
line.
to the 13-yard line. 15-yard clipping
Second
penalty.
down, 25 yards to go for the Wildcats.
And now with 3:12 to go. Now we'll see what Washington wants to do with it. Do they want to try to keep the drive alive, or do they want to avoid a mistake down there deep in their own territory? Heck, go ahead and throw it. That's what Creedon's going to do. All day to throw. Finally finds his man across the middle, and it's Marcus Johnson out of the 24-yard line.
To Marcus Johnson. O'Daniel in on the tackle.
So Johnson picks up 10 yards as they mark it at the 23-yard line.
Brings up third down, 15 yards to go.
So third down and about 15 yards to go.
If I was Washington, I wouldn't even attempt any running plays unless they were draws or reverses or something like that.
Creedon back to throw. He's 5 out of 10 tonight. Finds his man complete, short of the first down.
Creedon completes the pass to Johnson.
Marcus Johnson again, the receiver on the play, but he's out to the 34-yard line. They needed to get to the 38 to pick up the first down. Now,
In on the
4th and 4. It's a 21-0 ball game. 2 minutes to go in the half. You go for it.
Fourth down, a long
Now they're bringing the punter onto the field, Golovko.
Golovko and the punting team comes in.
So Washington,
Going back deep for the Titans.
a couple of penalties, a 10-yard holding penalty and a 15-yard clipping penalty. Tough to make up 25 yards in penalties in one series of downs, and they're going to have to punt it away. Golovko, pressure again, and this time, no flag goes down. I can't believe there wasn't a flag there. Blankenship at the 14. Blankenship slips a tackle. Another one, and he gets to the 26-yard line. Golovko, it appeared, had been roughed by Tony Thompson. And, well, I don't know if we have that one again. Let's take a look at it. Watch 31, Tony Thompson.
We're not going to get it, I don't believe. P.J. Smith was right on top of it, and I saw him shake his head at Golovko, so he was convinced that it was not a roughing the kicker. I did not see it. I was watching this downfield when he
take over on their own.
Thompson went by and brushed the punter's leg, and normally that would be roughing the kicker penalty down there. If the official rules that the punter had time to bring that his kicking foot back down to the ground and artificially held it up in the air to try to draw the penalty, he can wave it off, and that may have been what happened there, although he's going to have a hard time selling that one to Blair Armstrong. There is a sincere feeling at Washington, and Blair Armstrong is not a sour grapes type, and he's not one to make excuses. He didn't make excuses in his 0-10 year. He has a job to do, and he's very straightforward in that manner, but he believes they've had some questionable officiating in some of their games.
Well, he's a fine man. Blair Armstrong is, I just think of a lot of him. I think he's possesses leadership. I think he has a lot of character. And
I don't mean to say that Blair Armstrong is questioning the integrity of officials. He never would do that, but he feels he's gotten some bad calls along the way, a couple of critical calls, which, whether or not they made the difference in winning or losing, they didn't help the Washington Wildcat cause, and they're feeling a little bit snake bit right over there right now.
oh yes, I would imagine that he is.
E.J. Smith still explaining. I could only imagine he might be explaining the non-call on the roughing the kicker. And the way Blair Armstrong is walking away, I'm still not sure he bought it. But the Titans will take over 1st and 10, 1:17 to go. Line of scrimmage is the Woodham 26-yard line. Reed Snyder is the quarterback, and Vincent Tate is the tailback. Vincent and Ronald Tate, the Tate twins, and Reed Snyder across the middle to Salisbury. Salisbury to the Washington 48-yard line. What a catch.
Boy, I like the way that Washington defensive secondary came to the ball in a hurry, though. If you notice this now, the replay, you're going to get about 4 people around the football quick right now.
Salisbury broke the first tackle by Bobby Lewis, but then a lot of help came along. Greg Grandison pursuing on the play. I believe also helped out on the stop. The timeout on the field, did Washington take that? They did indeed. So this is Washington's first time out of the half. Now you're trailing 21-0, 1:07 to go in the half. Woodham has the passing team in. Reed Snyder is the top-ranked passer in Northwest Florida among the high school quarterbacks. And he's in there. Of course, first half of the ball game, and you just don't want to get blown out right now. 21-0, you could possibly get back in it. 28-0, that might be a different story.
You know, I think if Washington could go to the dressing room with them down 21-0 and come back and just polish up their passing game a little bit, keep Woodham a little off balance, they may do all right in the second half. But the defense has got to play real good because Woodham is just so explosive offensively. Hard to keep them out of the end zone.
Don Sharp has had his say with his Titans. 1:07 to go. Woodham, by the way, has all 3 timeouts remaining, so they have a lot of time to work with. Again, it's the Tate twins, Ronald and Vincent Tate in the backfield. That's Richard Busby in motion, and Vincent gets the call. 35, 20, and he's down at the 16-yard line. So, just when you think you're going to throw the football, they popped the long gainer.
13-yard line of Washington.
36-yard run for Vincent Tate.
That was the same play that he ran a few minutes ago when you made the comment if he'd have gotten over the hurdle, he'd have been gone for some big yardage, and I definitely think he would have. But he, it was the same identical play.
Well, he picked up 36 yards on the play, 59 seconds to go. Timeout on the field.
They had those pretty cheerleaders at Woodham High School, Dan. They just keep the spirit going here, and a cute bunch of young ladies. Coach Don Sharp wants another touchdown before intermission.
I don't know why not. 16-yard line. Remember, in 2 plays, they've come from their own 25-yard line to the Washington 16. And this is about as explosive a team as he may have had here at Woodham.
I think so. I think they can go from any place, any time.
The one thing they may lack is a balanced passing game. Really, they have the one good receiver, one breakaway threat. As Ronald Tate, 34, is the ball carrier. He gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, a gain of 2. And now they're going to hurry it up, 45 seconds to go. Reed Snyder back to throw. He's got his man Hackett, and he's hit immediately and dropped. Hit it about the 10-yard line. Defensive play on the corner by Lorenzo McNeil. And Woodham takes another timeout. And I just got the tail end of that, but the Don Sharp threw his hat away in disgust. He's jumping on somebody's case in the huddle. And I believe it's his quarterback, Reed Snyder. He may have thrown the ball to the wrong man. A gain on the play of just 4 yards, so it's going to be a 3rd down and about 3 yards to go for the Titans. They have 1 timeout remaining and 34 seconds to go. you know, getting back to the point about the Woodham offense, they have, Salisbury is really the one solid breakaway receiver they have.
Dan,
they had another one of him right out there. They might be unstoppable.
I remember a few years ago when Woodham took the ball, I think on about the 11-yard line against Columbia, and went the distance of the field to win at the last 5 minutes. Threw 3 passes, and the rest of them were runs, and the fullback carried it most of the time.
Not anymore. 3rd down and 3. That's Goodman in motion. They give the ball on the delay again to Vincent Tate, and he's going to be short of the first down, I believe. He was hit by number 20, Eddie O'Reilly. 4th down and a yard to go, 21 seconds to go, and Woodham takes his final timeout. I would think they might have to go to the...
No, he's
they have
going.
to kick the field goal.
I think he'll go for it.
Well, if he's going to go for it, he's going to go for it from field goal formation.
Yeah.
His kicker, Eric Fritz, is in there. No timeouts, but 20 seconds to
During the
go.
timeout, we'd like to announce that the Washington High School Quarterback Club has designated this game as sponsor night to show their appreciation for those businesses and individuals.
They made the announcement that Washington, of course, remember this is Washington's, technically Washington's home game tonight. They've named this sponsor night. I guess they really can't have a homecoming, can they?
They have their homecoming over here. They play their homecoming game here, and I was something happened. I think it was on a Thursday night last year, I believe, and I had a big crowd here. Washington did.
All right, Fritz from the hash mark. It's going to be a 24-yard field goal attempt, and he pulls it to the left. So Fritz misses the 24-yard field goal. 15 seconds to go, and the Washington defense holds when they had to. And it is still 21-0. They'll take a timeout now.
Timeout called by the Wildcats.
Is that their second or third timeout? I'm not sure, but on your own 20-yard line, trail at 21-0. They either have something up their sleeves or they just weren't sure of what play to run, or coach, should we sit on the football or what? I'm not sure. Neither were they. Go to the handheld mic, man. Yeah, we're having problems with Jet's microphone again. Go to the handheld mic, Jet. There you go.
I was just saying that Coach Thorson was out on the field with the defense, and Coach O'Leary was down, and of course he cannot go out on the one. Coach can go out. Coach O'Leary was down on the sideline talking to his secondary by sign language.
There's a pass to McNeil, trying to get outside. McNeil is run out of bounds at the 45-yard line with 9 seconds to go. They will mark it at the 44, so a 24-yard pickup.
To Washington, first down.
Another first down for Washington, and 9 seconds to go. Now you might as well pull out the stops.
Ball spotted on the Washington 43.5. First and 10 for Washington.
Well, Dan, I think, as you mentioned, they may have something in store for Woodham, and of course, the pass play was hard to cover, and they had a big gainer on it.
Second down, they throw it out there again to McNeil. And he's run out of bounds with 5 more seconds to go.
McNeil again on the completion.
He's short of the first down.
Goes out of bounds. Ball gets spotted on the Titan 48. Brings up second down.
Pick him on a play of 8 yards to go. And it's a second down and 2. And now Washington takes its final timeout with 4 seconds.
Timeout called by Washington.
Now they are out of timeouts. Jeff, they aren't quitting, and now you look to the players who have been there before, the And the kids on this ball club, the seniors on this Washington ball club, are the players who went through an 0-10 sophomore season, and then they tasted success a year ago at 6-4. But Blair Armstrong is quick to point out that the Darryl Cretons of this football team are the ones who've been through it before, and they're the ones that they will rely on and will not buckle to the adversity that they've faced. And certainly they're not buckling tonight. They've had everything that possibly could go wrong has gone wrong for them. And here they are calling timeouts with 4 seconds to go in the half, and they're 48 yards away trying to pull something out.
Dan, I think you could take Washington High School and move them a few districts over, and they may be leading the district. And I say that sincerely because the football in this area is just so good. I was at a meeting, as you know, last week, not this past week, the week before last, and people were there from other sections of Florida, and they were talking about how powerful our football was. And Washington is not a bad football team.
Second down and 2, with 4 seconds to go. Creighton's back to throw. Flushed out of the pocket, and Eddie Boyd sacks him. That's the second sack on the Washington quarterback. Messiah had one, Boyd has this one, and that will close out the first half. It's been a good one for Woodham. The Titans lead it 21-0.
Once again, we'd like to remind you to follow us.
Sounding Out is WSRE's interview program, where you hear from people who've traveled to Pensacola with something to say. Watch host Shirley Aronson sounding out authorities in such diverse areas as safaris in Africa, nuclear energy, and Southern riders. Sounding Out airs every Sunday evening at 7:30. This week, we may be sounding out someone with something to say to you. Please join us.
This is PBS for Northwest Florida, WSRE-TV, Pensacola.
Lead Washington 21-0 at halftime. Scoring on 3 big plays. Jason Hawkins, a 42-yard run the first time the Titans had the ball. Hawkins again, a 57-yard run the second time they had the ball, and if you're keeping count, Hawkins had 99 yards in the first 2 carries. He finished the half with 106 yards on 4 carries. Ronald Tate also scoring from 65 yards out. It is 21-0. On the field for halftime entertainment, the Woodham Titan marching band.
just a gigolo, and I ain't got nobody.
We proudly present for your halftime enjoyment the pride of Wildcat Country, 1985 Marching Wildcats. The men return to the field direction of Bill Neighbors, Diane Foley and Todd Silverville. Playing a drum solo drawn from a Mozart piano sonata. Washington High School is Miss Shermelle Robinson. Drum section leaders Miss Mindy Stickway. Color guard captains Tara Dudley and Ken Curtis. Percussion instructor Larry Garrett. Director of bands Don Tipton.
Before your children get into drugs and alcohol, become smarter and more aware of this epidemic problem. There are ways of preventing drug abuse. The Community Drug and Alcohol Commission says keep your child busy. They won't have time for drugs. CDAC has other ideas too. Call them 434 2724.
All right, we're ready for the second half of play here at Titan Stadium. Woodham on top of Washington, 21-0. And the Titans will receive the opening kickoff here in the second half. Greg Golovko puts a foot to it, and it comes down to the 3-yard line. Blankenship to the 20. He's hit at the 20 and powers forward to about the 23-yard line. The first man to lay a lick on him there was William Moss, number 33, 5'6", 135-pound senior, and he hit like he's a lot bigger than 135 pounds. But the Titans take over first and 10 on their 24-yard line. The Titans had 5 possessions in the first half. They scored 3 touchdowns, punted once, and missed a field goal from 24 yards. Vince Dickens will start the second half at quarterback, and he gives it to his fullback, Caesar Jones, and he's out to the 30-yard line before number 44, Chris Smith, makes the stop. So for Caesar Jones, getting his first carry here in the second half, that is his 6th carry on the night. He has 24 yards. Leading ground gainer in the first half, not surprisingly, Jason Hawkins, 4 carries, 106 yards. He had 99 of those on his 2 touchdown runs. Second down and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. And Dickens keeps it, and he is hit as he picks up a couple of yards. And Rayzone Gross, number 34, really hit him head on, and the linebacker's going to get the better of that deal, but he still picked up 2 yards.
Ball spotted just short of the 32-yard line.
So the ball on the 32. It'll be a third down and about 2 yards to go. Jones is the lone setback. He gets the carry. He gets the first down and more. Caesar Jones out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. And again, it is Chris Smith, 44, on the stop.
First down for the Titans.
So Caesar Jones picks up the initial first down of the second half. That is Woodham's 7th first down on the night. First down from the 46. Jones. And flag is down. They threw it into the line of scrimmage. And that's usually offensive holding. But I tell you, what a job that offensive line. Ricky Barrow, 77, the right guard, and Vince Sparks, 75, the right tackle. Of course, Chris Bromley, the center, Bob Pickering, the left guard, and Greg George, left tackle. They're all doing quite a job on that offensive line. And this is an offensive line, remember, that's been hurt. You know, Vince Sparks, they lost him for about 3 games. And in fact, Shane Garrett, he's a lineman they are very high on, is out. In fact, he's out for the season with a knee injury. He hurt it, a freak injury to Shane Garrett. The way Shane Garrett hurt his knee, he was just running a non-contact drill in shorts last Thursday. And knee went out on him. He's out for the year. So the holding penalty marks it back 10 yards to the 36-yard line. That's the second time the Titans have been penalized tonight for 15 yards. First down and 20 yards to go from the 36. High formation, Jones and Hawkins are the running backs, and Hawkins gets the call. And this time they contain him at the line of scrimmage.
Hawkins, the ball carrier.
In on the stop, 79, Eric Slowran. Also helping him out on the tackle was number 77, we have him listed as Erskine Robinson, a sophomore, 230-pounder.
Second down.
There might be some number changes on the Washington Wildcats, but I believe that was Erskine Robinson. Gain on the play of 3 yards. It'll be a second down at 17. Back to the eye. Reed Snyder's the quarterback. Throwing down. They give it to Hawkins instead.
Hawkins, the ball carrier.
Cross midfield to the 49-yard line, and only the ankle tackle by Chris Smith, who's played quite a game at linebacker, made the stop. Chris Smith, 5'8", 175-pound senior. He might have saved a touchdown.
I like the way Hawkins hits through there, Dan. He's going,
5 yards to go.
he hits that hole, he slides to the hole. He does very well when he gets the football, and he puts a lot into every run he has.
Picked up 12 on the last play. He picked up 3 yards, and he's knocked down short of the first down. Rayzone Gross, I believe, was in on the stop. The last man cutting off the pile is Chris Tolbert. But I tell you, this young man, Chris Smith, 44, all-around leader on this team.
Short 2 to go for the first.
Quite a weightlifter, second and third in the power cleans in the nation. Benches 300 pounds. He squats 5 to 600 pounds. Great athlete, a linebacker, number 44. Fourth down, and they're going for it. They give it to Jones. First down. And again, it's Rayzone Gross on the stop. But not before Caesar Jones picks up 4 yards and the first down at the Washington 41. So they pick up the first down on the ground after a holding penalty. That's tough to do.
They have some good running backs, dedicated football players.
Busby's in the game at a wingback. First and 10 from the 42. Busby in motion, reside and back to throw. Across the middle, the soft carry and hit him in the face. Oh my, and I tell you, like, the defensive back, number 47, Bobby Lewis, cut in front of him. And he may have deflected the ball or may have just blocked his vision. Watch, it'll hit right off his face mask.
10 yards to go for the Titans.
Boom. It's Salisbury. Of course, it's a rather embarrassing moment to have a football hit you in the face, but he kind of hangs on to the football with the gambling play that Lewis had made. He's gone for a touchdown.
I think he would have had a touchdown, Dan.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. There was nobody behind him. Everyone was moving in the other direction. Second down and 10 from the 41. That's Hawkins in motion. Jones gets the call. Somebody threw a shoe at the bottom of the pile as Jones gets about 3 or 4 yards.
I think it was Jones. Nope.
Capri Williams in on the tackle.
Now it's Brett Landrum, 82, is in the game, one of the blocking receivers. No, I checked that. Busby's the one who threw the shoe.
Pick up a 3 yards.
Landrum came off the field kind of limping, and I thought he was without a shoe, but it was Busby, Richard Busby, the wingback, blocking on the play who lost the shoe. So pick up on a play of 3. It'll be a third down and 7. Goodman in motion. They'll throw to him, but instead they give it to Hawkins. Trying to get outside. Jason Hawkins. Dragged down at the 31-yard line. He is very close to the first down. I believe he has it.
I believe he has a first down.
Capri Williams pulled him down, but he is going to have enough for the first down. No need to measure that.
First
And
down
Hawkins
for the
now
Titans.
has carried the ball 7 times for 122 yards.
We had some interesting halftime scores with Pine Forest and Milton tied at 7-7.
And remember, that's a district game now.
It certainly is.
Washington
Well,
timeout.
I tell you, you talk about tough schedules. Milton,
Ball
in fact,
spotted
we'll
on
see the
30-yard
Panthers
line.
the next 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. Next week, Milton, of course, the Panthers ranked number 3 in the state against the number 2 team, Tallahassee Leon. And the week after that, the Panthers have to travel to Escambia to take on the top-ranked Gators.
I think that'll be 2 fine ball games for Hurley Manning and the Milton team. Of course, Gene Cox at Tallahassee Leon always has a fine team.
It's Milton. It could be a bit of a death march for them. It's Milton is the smallest 4A high school in the state. And there is, of course, the reclassification will balance things out a little bit. You won't see the disparity in sizes of schools. And now that you used to see under the old 4 classification system, but still, when you're the smallest in the group and you're playing some of the biggest 4A schools around, there could be a difference in size. And, those games are certain to be, especially the Escambia game will be a physical game. And if Milton gets a break on that schedule, it's the fact that they play Escambia after playing Leon. I don't know how physical Leon is, but we know how physical Escambia is. And it might be tough to play Leon after playing Escambia.
Usually, Gene Cox teams are not that physical a football team, but they finesse you. They throw the football very well, in fact, excellent. And they don't have much of a running game. It's a throwing game, and they score a lot of points.
And they've had some great products come out of Leon. Tony Robinson, the quarterback at Tennessee, at Leon. All right, first down from the 31-yard line, or the 30-yard line, rather. Jones gets the carry.
On the tackle.
You did have to ruin my night mentioning Tony Robinson.
Second down, 8 yards to go.
Tomorrow, Tony Robinson will be in Birmingham throwing against the University of Alabama, and it may be bad.
3-yard pickup for Caesar Jones, second down and 7. I don't know. That Alabama coming off a loss to Penn State. The Tide may be ready for that. I had to really ruin your night by bringing that up. Flag on the play. Jones, big gain, and Jones is going to go in for the touchdown, but I believe that one's going to be called back. That might have been the longest touchdown run of Caesar Jones' career, and it's not going to count. Illegal shift or illegal motion in the backfield against Woodham.
Motion against the Titans is called.
Well, we picked up the instant replay after the man was in motion, so.
Dan, I've been noticing Coach Armstrong and the Washington Wildcats, the defensive secondary is playing very, very close to the line of scrimmage, and that's really my philosophy, too. When you're playing a team like Woodham, it doesn't throw very much. Why have them back there 15 yards deep when they never get to get in on a tackle unless he breaks the line of scrimmage? Bring them up. And they're playing their secondary very close.
Of course, they've broken 3 long touchdown plays, and they broke that fullback play, and that's the danger of playing that close to the line of scrimmage. If you break through that first wall, there's really nobody there to stop you. 6:12 to go, third quarter. Titans lead 21-0. They have the ball at the 32-yard line. Jones is hit hard as he gets inside the 30. Bobby Lewis, one of those defensive backs coming into the stop, along with William Harris, number 74, 5'10", 205-pound sophomore. And they are very high on this young man as well.
Dan, I was impressed the last couple of plays. Washington is still hitting very well there. Bobby Lewis went in there and put a good lick on Caesar Jones on the last play.
Let's say a little bit about William Harris in just a second. On the third down and about short 10. They give it straight ahead to Jones. He won't get anywhere near the first down.
The ball carrier.
Now, do you go ahead and let Fritz try to kick the 40-plus yard field goal?
I don't know. Coach Sharp's going to call timeout.
There you see across the way the blue jersey, number 74, running out the field. William Harris worked his way into the lineup 2 weeks ago. He was on the demonstration team, the scout team, and he proved himself in practice. And he has good speed. He finds the ball well, and they feel he's always had the ability. It's just now that that ability started to come to the surface, and he's gone ahead and moved in there. In fact, the fact that Harris is playing well enough to start now has enabled Craig Worley to become a one-platoon player. Worley now the starting offensive left guard for Washington. He was going both ways, a defensive and offensive guard. Now Worley can concentrate on offense, and Harris doing a job as a sophomore on the defensive line. Fourth down for the Titans, and Don Sharp, with an expression on his face, I'm not too sure he's too thrilled with his offense right now. I believe he was, I'm not sure if Dickens missed a read on that option play or what. I'm not sure the Titans have pitched the ball tonight, have they? I
don't think they have, not a single time.
Of course, they've been gaining pretty good yardage in the middle. Jones has 51 yards tonight on 12 carries, so they've been doing well up the middle. And they're going for it on fourth down. Fourth down and about 7 yards to go from the 27. Dickens keeps it. First down to the 14-yard line. Nice piece of running by Vince Dickens. And that is why I think you see the talent that Don Sharp calls him the best option quarterback he's had. He really picked his hole nicely. He really is that third running back there. And he breaks a tackle by Chris Smith, which is pretty tough.
And he has very quick feet, and that's what an option quarterback needs.
And he's throwing for the end zone for Salisbury, and Salisbury got all turned around. The throw wasn't exactly on the money.
Salisbury.
But Salisbury got his feet tangled
Lorenzo
up, and
McNeil
had
on
he
the
not got
coverage.
his
He'll
feet
bring up
tangled up, he
second
may have been
down,
able to
10
make a
yards.
play. Lorenzo McNeil back there on the coverage.
Lorenzo did a good job of staying with him, trying to keep from interfering with him, and Salisbury kind of got turned around, as Dan said, and was unable to see the ball.
4:55 to go, third quarter. Titans trying to add their 4th touchdown of the night. They lead 21-0. And he goes straight ahead to Jones, and I tell you, he's going to be sore tomorrow morning. He is really taking some hits, and you're seeing some of that athletic ability. You're seeing the kind of athletic ability Washington has. They have some hitters on defense.
Pick up with 2 yards to bring up third down, 8 yards to go for the Titans.
I'm impressed with them for staying in there, battling, being down early in the first quarter by 2 touchdowns, and in the second quarter going down 21-0. They're still battling. Defensive team playing very hard.
The pitch to Hawkins. Hawkins hurdles him in at the 5 and goes down to the 3. And I tell you, maybe you saw the reason Jason Hawkins doesn't carry the ball more than about 5, 6, 7 times a game. So I guess maybe he's averaging about 9 carries a game, but you saw the way that ball was waving around, and frankly, Don Sharp says if I give him the football 25 times, he's probably going to fumble it 3 times. He carries the ball the way Wendell Tyler, the great running back of the San Francisco 49ers, carries it. Of course, Tyler's been a bit of a fumbler too, but Hawkins hasn't fumbled the ball too much, but they are worried about that. He got the first down to the 3. He gets the call. He hurdles at the goal line, and they keep him out.
Hawkins takes to the air.
I tell you, he's pumped up.
He did a beautiful bit of running there. I like to see that fella get his body out parallel as he goes over there. I saw a college team a couple of weeks ago. The guy jumped and he was straight up. He's getting his body out where it's supposed to be.
Boy, that's as good a dive as I've seen.
It is, Dan.
All right. Caesar Jones gets the call, and he gets the touchdown. And I guess that is justice because he had that touchdown run earlier that was called back, and he goes ahead and plows it in from 3 yards out, or from a yard out. So the Titans take the kickoff to open the second half.
Ritz is in for the extra point.
They hang on to the football for 8 minutes and 40 seconds. They march 76 yards for the touchdown. Fritz will attempt the extra point.
Fritz's kick is up, and it's good.
So the Titans lead it 28 to nothing.
In the third quarter, the score is
3:20 to go,
for the
third quarter.
Titans. Washington 0.
Jet, you mentioned briefly, we didn't really have time to touch on it, but there were a lot of question marks about Washington. They're at that crucial point. And a tough loss, and this one may be headed in that direction. Could or could not be, it could either make or break it. It's really the type of thing that can tear a team apart, but they seem to be rising to the occasion. There hasn't been any sign of quitting out there yet.
No, there haven't. And to me, that shows leadership from Coach Armstrong and his staff. It shows something inside these young men. And sooner or later, I believe that Coach Armstrong is going to have a good football team at Washington. It may be this year, it may be next year.
As McNeil brings it out to the 25-yard line.
26.
Here it is going through one of those phases right now.
Great marks in on the tackle.
So Washington will take over 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 26-yard line.
And Darrell Cretin, the senior quarterback, they look to him for leadership, and they've been getting it all year long.
There it is.
Back to throw. He's got his man. It's Marcus Johnson to the 35-yard line, and here comes Washington. 9-yard pickup. It'll be a second down and 1. You know, here's a guy, Darrell Cretin. He's practically your perfect All-American kid, your Jack Armstrong type.
Spotted on the 35-yard line. Second down, 1 yard to go for the Wildcats.
He's a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He has a 4-point plus grade point average. He dates the student body president.
Flags on the play.
Flags are down on 2nd down and 1, and Creighton was back to throw on 2nd and 1.
Washington next week will play, travel to Tallahassee to play Tallahassee Lincoln High School. I was talking to the scout from Lincoln up during the halftime.
Procedure against the Wildcats.
After that, Washington has Choctaw. They're open. They play Tate and then Mosley. If they could just get a little bit of encouragement
2nd
tonight.
down, 6 yards to go.
Of course, Lincoln is, I think, a real powerful football team over in Tallahassee. But Washington may come back and have Choctaw, Tate, Mosley, and be capable of winning all those games.
Well, they're still in a situation to sort of dictate that. You know, the breaks eventually even out. Creighton back to throw. He's going for Johnson, double covered, and he almost came down with it. But excellent coverage there. Willie Blankenship, number 32, and Anthony Abrams, 23. Back there on the coverage.
Pretty good pass, Dan.
You know, the Woodham secondary is a situation that, of course, you lose a Preston Washington, a great defensive back who's playing for Tulane, and Kerry Watkins, who's down at the University of Florida. You lose athletes like that, it's difficult to replace the mystique as much as it is to replace the talent, but they do have talent back there. And of course, they lost Alonzo Anderson, perhaps their best defensive back, before the season. But the secondary has really gelled. Michael Leary's secondary there. 3rd down and about 6 yards to go, and Creighton's back to throw. He's swinging it out to Tolbert. Tolbert breaks the tackle. Tolbert has the first down.
Well, Dan, I think the last 2 words in your statement answer the question. Michael Leary. Michael Leary comes from an outstanding football family. His daddy was a college coach, athletic director at Major College. Michael Leary is a fine football coach, and I don't want to cause Don Sharp any problems, but he's ready for a head coaching job in my estimation, and would be a good one.
Oh, don't say that about O'Leary. He may be, but he'll take that one to the bank. We're going to have to give Mike Thorson equal time.
That's right. That's right. Mike's a good one.
Mike Thorson, who handles defensive ends. And the outside linebackers, Thorson and O'Leary, they're like Butch and Sundance down there. Those 2 guys go at it.
They're well organized. Don Sharp has this group well organized. They know what's going on.
Defensive holding tacked on to the end of that last play, and now Washington with a first down at the Washington 49-yard line. First down with 1:25 to go, 3rd quarter. The Titans lead at 28-0, but Washington trying to put a drive together. And they send McNeil in motion.
He turned up too quick.
You heard Mike Thorson on the sideline saying he turned up too quick and he might have a case, but he's not going to get the flag as the pass is completed to Chris Tolbert. Blankenship drives him out of bounds, and also there on the stop was 54 Keith Smith. Flag is down, and it is illegal motion, so he did get the flag from across the way. And of course the Titans will take the penalty.
The preliminary call is illegal procedure against the Wildcats.
Across the way.
Yeah, McNeil did turn up a little bit too quickly, and Thorson made that call, but the flag went down across the way, so Thorson's call didn't affect anything. Into the ball game for the Wildcats. Mike Washam checking back in, replacing Dave Brooks on that offensive line.
1st and 15 for the Wildcats.
Washam, number 78, a 3-year starter.
Spotted on the 44-yard line.
First down and about 15 yards to go. Creighton back to throw. He's got his man McNeil, and he slips down to make the catch at the Woodham 44-yard line. That's going to be shy of the first down by about 3 yards. Pick up on the play of, well, they mark it on the 45, so pick up on the play of 11, and it will be a 2nd and 4.
4 yards to go.
Gained 11 yards on that pass.
And I don't think Creedon's missed a pass in the second half. He's 11 out of 16 in the second half, and he was 7 for 12 in the first half. So Creedon warming up, and again, they're getting that leadership from that senior quarterback. Creedon play to Riley, and this is the first carry for Riley since way back early in the first half, and Riley gets the first down. Inside.
Riley, the ball carrier. Williams in on the tackle.
Tackled by Edward Williams. And it's another Washington first down. So 19 seconds to go, 18. I don't think they're going to get another playoff as they shuttle the play in with Mike Washam, and back out goes Dave Brooks. He brings the play in, but they're not going to implement it till the final quarter. We have 6 seconds to go. 3, 2, 3. Can't get it off. Tried to get the play off.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Instead of rushing things and trying and maybe making a mistake, they just decide to
Going into the fourth quarter.
go ahead and go on into the fourth quarter. Woodham leads Washington 28-0.
With Washington on his right.
On the next Wonderworks, Carol Burnett, Danny DeVito, Carrie Fisher, Rhea Perlman, and Henry Winkler bring life to the animated characters in Happily Ever After.
Eddie Calhoun's mom and pop got a divorce. There must be a lot of it going around. It's a regular epidemic.
A lighthearted look at a sensitive subject. Happily Ever After on the next Wonderworks.
Monday night at 8 on WSRE TV 23.
Fourth quarter of action. Ahead, the Woodham Titans on a roll, 28-0, but Washington has a first and 10 at the Woodham 39, and Creedon's back to throw again. And he finally throws an incomplete pass. That's his first incomplete pass of the second half, overthrowing McNeil, who was covered over there by number 25, Raymond Mims. So the incomplete pass sets up a second down and 10 from the 39-yard line. Woodham defense has to be happy with the job it's done on, especially against the rush. Chris Tolbert has gained just 23 yards tonight. He's only run the ball 6 times. They really shut him down. Pass is complete to Capri Williams, and the leading receiver on the Washington Wildcats
By Tony Thompson.
comes up with his second catch of the night, his 12th on the year. And Tony Thompson knocked him down at the 31-yard line. He picked up 8 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 2. So Washington trying to keep the drive alive, and with 11.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you have to figure at this point of the field they'll go for it twice if they don't make it here. 3rd down and 2. 2 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. Creedon back to throw. Here comes the blitz. And he underthrows his intended receiver. And it was, I was about to say Chris Tolbert, but instead it was Riley, Eddie Riley, the sophomore fullback.
4th down, 2 yards to go.
Raymond Mims was blitzing from his left corner position. And he may have forced Creedon to get rid of it a little bit early. All right, 4th down and 2. Washington will go for it.
Wildcats are going to go for it. 4th down, 2 yards.
4th down, 2 yards to go. The Wildcats trying to keep this drive alive. They've been shut out so far. 2 wide receivers to the right side. And they run it to the left side of Riley, and he's tripped up as they cross the line of scrimmage. It depends on where his knee went down, but I think he picked up the first down.
I believe he got it.
Timeout called by the official.
Yeah, where they marked it, it is going to be close. He might have it by half a length of the football.
They're going to measure to see.
It's going to be awfully close.
It sure will.
I think he's got it by about half a length of the football, though.
Too close to call.
Come on, Steve!
Impressive drive by the Washington Wildcats. This is just the second drive of the half, and he has it by about half the length of the
First
football.
down for the Wildcats.
You don't miss them, Dan. You pick a ball, half the length of the football. That's good.
wasn't half the length of the football, I'm not going to say anything about it, so I'm not going to take any fouls. First down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Creedon back to throw. He's getting some pressure. He goes for Marcus Johnson, and he goes down, and a flag goes down, and they're going to call pass interference on Ramon Mims, but there is also a flag back at the line of scrimmage. So we may have offsetting penalties.
May have a holding back here.
Yep. Yes, we have the hold against Washington, and I am certain we have the offensive or defensive pass interference.
We have holding
Smith
against the
interference
Wildcats,
against
pass interference against the
so they will be offsetting penalties, and we'll do it again.
Play it over.
Replay the down. First and 10 for the Wildcats.
10:39 to go in the ball game. 28-0. Woodham leading Washington.
And I'm still surprised. You know, they usually throw the football to Chris Tolbert a lot. He threw to him once tonight. They got 9 yards on the play. But he hasn't been able to run the football effectively. He mentioned he's only carried the ball 6 times tonight. Creedon back to throw. Across the middle, intended for Marcus Johnson, and it bounces to him.
Way to run, Danny.
Keith Smith on the coverage there, the linebacker.
Johnson.
And
Brings
he'll
up
set up a
second down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats.
Darryl Creedon has a lot of composure. I like to see him not be satisfied with himself when he throws the ball into the ground like he did then. But he does that behind the team. As soon as they start to re-huddle, he shows no emotion.
Well, they go to the straight T backfield. And Creedon's back to throw. Ball right catch by Tolbert. I think that ball was deflected, and he made the catch for the first down.
Beautiful catch by
And now you can see why they rave about Chris Tolbert at Washington. In fact, Blair Armstrong says Tolbert, as a junior, is about where Mike Nettles was as a junior 2 years ago. Of course, Mike Nettles, all-state performer, now is in fact, Mike Nettles is a number 2 defensive back at Memphis State as a freshman, as a natural freshman. And that's quite an accomplishment. Some of the college coaches up there saying he's the best, one of the best defensive backs they've ever seen. Mike Nettles, quite an athlete, quite a young man, and to be compared to him, that's doing something. That's the way they feel about Tolbert. As Riley is wrapped up and dropped in the backfield, Bill Bradley, number 42, made the stop.
On the tackle, there's a loss
Bradley is 6'1", 195-pound senior.
He gave a good effort on that because they had him behind the line of scrimmage for a yard. He worked his way out, tried to get outside to the left, but was unable to do so against that strong Woodham defense.
This Woodham defense has really come a long way since the last time we saw them, although they played a good game against Escambia that night, but they are hitters, and they really go to the ball. Second down 11, he quick slant pattern, complete. Arthur Bry, 42 on the reception. That's his first catch of the night. Picked up just 4 yards on the play, so it's a third down and about 7. Third down and 7 from the Woodham 13-yard line. This is Washington's deepest penetration of the night.
They're giving a little challenge out here with these double wideouts.
That's right, 2 wide receivers on 2 defensive backs. Creedon's looking for across the middle, looking for Tolbert, and there was contact before the ball got there, but I think that was incidental contact. Both players, neither one with an advantage in position, both players going for the ball, and the man in the coverage back there was Shannon Adams. Now, 4th down and about 6.5, 7 yards to go, 8:36 to go. Washington has held the ball for about 7 minutes on this drive. The Titans,
they've held on to the ball.
The Titans have held on to the football for 8:40 of the third quarter, and the Wildcats have had it ever since. 4th down. The blitz is on. Bradley puts the pressure on. The catch is made at the 3-yard line. And Marcus Johnson is the man who made the reception for the first down.
football. He waited to the very last second to throw it.
Ball's being spotted on the 3-yard line.
10-yard pickup on the first down, and it is first and goal. And the clock was running a moment ago, and I'm not sure why, because it went out of bounds after the reception. But now they've stopped it with 8:26 to go.
It's going to be hard to get it in there.
Touchdown!
Number 3.
Eddie Riley.
Ray scores.
Riley goes in from 3 yards out, and the Washington Wildcats have broken on the board with 8:22 to go in the fourth quarter. It is 28-6.
DeMarco in for the extra point attempt. Green holding.
Greg Golovko will attempt the extra point, and flags go down in the line of scrimmage before the snap. Golovko, quite a soccer player, and Washington, of course, has that great soccer program over there. A lot of good soccer players for the Wildcats. Golovko is one of the best in the bunch. He's had his problems this year, though. He's missed some extra points and missed some field goals in game situations. Are you back on the handheld mic?
Offsides against the Titans. Washington calls timeout.
Been having more trouble with the microphone, huh? Did you do something to the audio guy? Yeah, we're going to try to get my Jet's microphone cleared up. All right.
Okay.
All right, timeout on the field after the penalty marked off against the Titans, who put it on the 1-yard line. Now, I don't know.
Johnson is up walking around on the sidelines. Let's give him a hand, folks.
Injured player Marcus Johnson goes off on the field. I don't know if they know that. Are they keeping the kicker in, or are they going for 2? Golovko's not in there. Daryl Creedon is. Marcus Johnson goes out of the ball game, and Johnson's caught 4 passes tonight for 38 yards, including that big one that got him the first down on the 3 that led to the touchdown. So Marcus Johnson having a good night, catching the throws.
We have an
Daryl
update
Creedon.
in the Milton Pine Forest game in the fourth quarter. Milton leads 17-14.
Creedon on the night, by the way, is now 15 out of 24. So a good night, good numbers for the senior quarterback. And Washington now with the ball on the 1.5-yard line is going to go for 2. It's 28-6 right now, although the scoreboard still has nothing up. Creedon gives it to the second back through. No, he pitches it out instead to McNeil, and a great defensive play by number 23, Anthony Abrams. That's about the 3rd big play he's made. He stayed at home like you're taught to do, and he made the play.
He did it excellent. It was just beautiful. That makes coaches so happy to see a young man play football that way, and he's been taught that way by this staff at Woodham.
So it remains 28-6.
Sets up the tee for the kickoff.
8:22 to go in the fourth quarter. And remember, last time Woodham had the football, they held on to it for 8:40.
Salisbury and
We may see a half
Blankenship
with
for
3
the Titans.
possessions of the football. 2 for one team and 1 for the other. And just by comparison, in the first half, Washington had 6 possessions, and Woodham had 5. 11 total possessions in the first half, and we're about to go into our 3rd possession here in the second half, and we've got 8:22 to go in the half. Golovko puts the foot to it, and Salisbury chases it down, and he'll let it roll into the end
Ball
zone.
goes into the end zone. Woodham will take over 20-yard line.
First down at the 20.
10.
Dan, did you see the Washington player rushing down you know, a kickoff is anybody's ball, and that thing was just bouncing very slow just outside that end zone, and Washington player was about 5 yards from it, and he was trying to get there, and I think that would have been a first in my lifetime to have seen someone recover a kickoff inside the 5-yard line.
Jones ran into his own blocker, and he goes down at the 24-yard line. In on the stop was, well, the man we were talking about earlier, number 74, William Harris, the sophomore.
Pick up a 3.5 yards. Pick up second down, long 6.
Second down and 6 as Jones gets 4 yards on the carry. He has 58 yards tonight on 15 carries. He's been the workhorse. They give it to Jones again. He gets 25 and a good hit. And into the ball game for Washington, Darren Stetz, the safety, starting safety, made the hit on him.
Third down, 5 yards to go.
Third down and about 5 yards to go for the Titans. Dickens is the quarterback. Busby's on the wing. They're in the eye. Now they send Busby in motion. Hawkins tries to bring it back to the line of scrimmage, but he's not going to do it. And the defensive play, the first man to get a hold of him is number 62, Chris Truitt. He's only 5'7", but he's 205 pounds.
Fourth down.
Defensive lineman.
Long 3.
I believe this is Woodham's first time to punt, isn't it?
No, Hackett's gone once before to punt. He punted once in the first half for 28 yards. Woodham has recovered, so McNeil, the punt was a bit short of him, and it was a tough chance, but that's what happens when you try to make a tough catch on a punt. The Titans will retain possession.
For the Titans.
That is Washington's first turnover of the night. And it comes with 6:32 to go. Dickinson quarterback. He gives it to Hawkins, picking his way through the line of scrimmage, gets to the 42-yard line.
The ball carrier. Harrison on the stop.
Pick up on the play of 4 yards, second down and 6. Hawkins
Pick up of 4 yards, brings up second down, 6 yards to
152
go.
yards tonight on 12 carries. 152 on 12 carries. Second and 6. Dickens capes. That's the play they ran when he picked up that big first down in the third quarter this time. The defense didn't fool. Tolbert was there. Stetson, I believe, was there. And maybe Rizone Gross. All in on the stop. Chris Smith, number 44, also over there. So, nice defensive play by Washington.
Washington players doing what we've been talking about all season, staying at home, playing the way you're supposed to, and there they were.
Reed Snyder now in the game at quarterback on third down and a long 6. And Reed Snyder gives it to the fullback, Jones, and they're going to stop him short. Harris was in on the stop along with Chris Tolbert.
Jones, the ball carrier.
I don't think they're going to punt the football.
Chris Tolbert on the tackle.
You know, wholesale substitution, so
I believe they will, Dan.
they might as well. 4:41 to go. The Titans have this one well in hand. 28-6.
5 yards to go.
Fourth down and 5 yards to go at the Washington 41-yard line. If you're going for it from that position in this game situation, that can only be looked at as one thing, and that's running it up, and that's not something
I lied.
you
I
want to
took
do.
back in front formation.
Out of the game for Washington goes number 27, Greg Grandison. Boy, they're really high on that young man. Grandison, a sophomore. He's been a varsity performer all year long. 6'1", 190-pounder. He'll play some tight end for you and some defensive end. Blair Armstrong really likes him. He's tall, he has quick feet, good hands, and I think he's going to be a fine receiver someday. Punt sails out of bounds to get to the end zone. It did not. It went out of bounds at the 2-yard line. So Hackett, 39-yard punt, but more importantly, he puts it out of bounds on the 3-yard line. So a 38-yarder.
That was a beautiful punt. Beautiful punt. As Washington backed up before 11 to go in the ball game. That really
takes over first and 10
28-6.
from their own 3-yard line with 4:11 left in the game.
Reed gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert again has to fight for every yard he gets, and he only gets 2 of them there. Keith Smith again in on the stop, number 54.
Picks up 2 yards, they'll bring a second down, 8 yards to go.
As I look down at Woodham's coaches, I see blue shirts and red shirts on the assistants, and I would imagine that he has red shirts on his offensive coaches and blue ones on his defense.
Hey, let's see now. You have Joel Williams down there. He's got a red shirt. He handles the offensive line. Pierce McIntosh, red shirt, the wide receiver. Tolbert slips at the 5-yard line, then makes a nice play out of it. Gets maybe 5 yards to the 10. So the little swing pass out to Chris Tolbert. And he's smothered by about 4 or 5 people there. And again, Keith Smith is one of them. So is David Steen, number 45. He was in on the play.
Picks up 5 yards.
Gets 5 yards out to the 10. It'll be 3rd and 3.
yards to go.
And coming out of the ball game now, Larry Brewer, number 44. Replacing him is 49, Nick Vaccaro at one of the linebackers for the Titans. So they're getting some people in the ball game. Reed to throw on 3rd and 3. He's got his man, Capri Williams. O'Daniel tries to run him down. He can't do it. Finally, Abrams bumps him out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Big pickup, 23-yard gain to Capri Williams. That's his 3rd catch of the night. And he has 36 yards receiving. So Capri Williams, the leading receiver coming into the game, 10 catches, and he had averaged 12 yards a catch. And he's right on his average tonight. 3 catches for 36 yards. 2.5 minutes to go. The clock stopped. Washington would like nothing better than to put another touchdown.
That would really be good for their morale, as a morale booster for them if they could do that.
And they throw the little screen pass over here to Riley. Riley across the 40. Breaks the tackle. Riley to the 35-yard line. Loose football, and Woodham recovers at the 25. Oh, my. What a great individual effort by Riley. Got some great blocks out there on the screen and then fumbled the football. And, you know, that's a case of a fumble occurring when a runner really gives it that extra effort. And that so many times happens as you see it again. He's going to pick up the blocks right there.
And he was really giving the extra effort, and I'm sure that the coaches at Washington are proud of what he was doing. They certainly aren't proud that he fumbled, but he was playing football the way that coaches love to see a young man play.
I believe I saw number 60, John Reinecke, out there blocking on the play, throwing the key block. And Mike O'Daniel is in the game at quarterback. And it could be. Is that O'Daniel?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It is. Yes.
McNeil on the coverage, 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
So Mike O'Daniel, the Roverback, getting some time in at quarterback. And number 87, Matt King, is in the game at a wide receiver. 88, Tim Martin. Check that. That's not 88, Tim Martin. That's 89, and we don't have an 89 on the roster.
William Harris really made a good defensive play for Washington on the last one, Dan.
I tell you, he's really done a job in there, just a sophomore.
Timeout called by
And Washington calls the timeout with 1:43 to go.
Brings up third down and long 8 with 1:43 remaining in the game.